Hey, this is Russ. Are you ready to give up? I know I was ready to give up at a time, but I didn't. I had a recent conversation with somebody about giving up. All right. And she mentioned to me that she couldn't believe I was able to withstand so much of what had happened to me. And she was about ready to give up. Right. I could tell. She wanted something easy to get out of this, but I'm going to tell you there's no easy way out of it. You might know that I had 80 physical therapy sessions, and I will tell you that each one of those physical therapy sessions ended up in me with pain. Yeah, to the point of extreme screaming, all right? So she mentioned something about, you must be able to deal with that. No, I can't deal with it, just like everyone else can't deal with it. But I didn't give up. That's the key. All right. And even to this day, I'm still working my knee. All right. And I'm about 14 and a half months out now. So most people are done way before that, and I'm still doing it. But I haven't given up. All right. Realistically speaking, I know that I probably won't get that much better in my extension, but I keep trying. All right. I actually said to Jazz too, I says, when am I supposed to give this thing back? I mean, I've had it since they gave it back to me. And for those who don't know, I had a Jazz unit in December and January of this past year, right? So I had it rental for 2 months. My insurance company paid for it. And it was right after my second MUA. All right. So my surgery was September 19th, 2019. So in the month after I had an MUA done, and the month after that I had another MUA done. So after the second MUA, I got the Jazz unit, and I had it from December and January. Then I had to give it back because that was the rental period that the insurance company paid for. Okay. So I got the units back in June through the courtesy of Jazz. I'm helping them with giving them some feedback on my usage of it, and checking out some new products that they're working on. And in exchange, they give me the Jazz units to use. But I kind of feel guilty keeping it for so long. I mean, if you think about it, it's been June. Here it is in December. I still have them. Okay. And I'm not really paying for them either. So I kind of felt a little guilty about that. And I said, maybe I should buy these from you or do something. I just felt like I've had it for way too long. But the kind folks at Jazz said, they never said, no, give it back to us. And they never said, keep hanging on to it. But they just says, you got to keep working at it until you're better. Okay. And I think that's the attitude we all have to take. All right. Because I know that the pain is there. I went through a lot of it. I'm still going through some of it, but I wouldn't categorize my pain as pain anymore. We'll talk about that in a second. And but they didn't say give up either, right? They said keep at it. Now I know that they don't do this for everybody because most often, and the way they make their money is it's rented to you. The insurance company pays for it, and once your insurance is done, typically you return it back. So I'm very lucky that they're working with me and they're allowing me to keep going with it. I don't know. Maybe they want to find out how long this guy can actually withstand this thing. I don't know what the typical rental period. I need to ask them. How long do most people have this thing? Okay. Because getting it back the second time, I'm already from June to December, and there's no end in sight. But I haven't given up. All right. So as long as they let me keep it and do it, I do use it all the time. I actually give them a report weekly. They don't ask me for my actual numbers or anything like that, but I give them a report of how much time I put on that unit. So considering you do 30-minute sessions for extension, 30-minute sessions for flexion, and you do this 3 times a day, theoretically, I should be putting in about 3 hours. And I did for a while, but now I've backed off a little bit. I don't need it quite that heavily. But I do report to them how much time I put on the units, all right? I don't see an end in sight for the extension. The flexion, maybe I could give it back, but I don't really want to, right? Because I know that when I stopped my physical therapy, I stopped at, what was it, about 117 unassisted and 130 degrees pushed to the level of screaming, okay? When I measured it before I got that stuff back from Jazz, I was at, 104? I think it was 104 degrees. So I reverted backwards. So I'm fearful that if I give the unit back to them, what if my 120 plus degrees that I'm getting now, what if that reverts backwards again? So I keep doing it, okay? So even though I know I'm at 120, because the last time we measured it, I was at 120, I don't want to stop doing it because I'm afraid it's going to go back, okay? Because it did once. So eventually, I think, you get to the point where it doesn't go backwards, but I don't want to test that, at least not yet. And so as long as they're allowing me to keep it as I think I need it, I still put in my time, okay? So I want to encourage you guys that, if you're thinking of quitting, if you think you're good enough at the level that you're at, and you know that that's substandard level, okay, but you're accepting what it is, I'm telling you, don't give up. Keep doing it, all right? And I know that the pain is still there because I deal with this all the time too. Let's talk about this pain thing, okay, because I said I would talk about it. I don't categorize my current pain as pain because we know what pain is, right? We didn't know what pain was until we had the knee replacement. and I said the same thing too, that, I thought I was able to withstand lots of pain. I didn't know pain until the knee replacement. That's pain. I don't have to describe this to you because I know you have it, okay? So today, do I have that pain? And the answer is no, I don't. I don't have that pain. Eventually it went away. But I feel it every day. I feel it in every step. I'm still stiff. And when I use the Jazz units, I feel it, okay? But I'm not screaming in pain. So I would say that the pain I have now, I call it a nuisance, okay? So when I put the Jazz units on, do I feel the kind of pain I had before when I was using it? The answer is no, I don't. But I'm pushing myself to the level where I feel it. I feel it pretty, tight because it's pushed to major levels trying to get that extension, and it's pushing me to 120 degrees. So you imagine, if my knee wasn't bending well enough, that push to the 120, I would be screaming in pain, okay? I'm not because I'm hitting the 120 on my own already. So it's a nuisance. It's more of a nuisance. I think that's really, they should put a category for that. They should just call it, and name it after me. The Russ is right nuisance pain. That's when it's felt, but it's not like knee surgery pain. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I haven't given up. I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to tell me you're going to give up. All right. So if you make comments on there, okay, and if you're asking me, is it okay to give up? You know what my answer is going to be. It's going to be no. It's not okay to give up. You better go and keep working at it. And if you ask me, should I do the MUA? My answer would be, if you want to get more range and that's the thing that's stopping you is the fact that you have scar tissue and you can't go past it, my answer is you got to keep doing it. And yes, you're going to need that MUA. That's going to be my answer, right? You don't even have to ask it because I'm going to tell you that. Or maybe you need to ask it. Maybe you need to hear somebody tell you, all right? And I know your answer is going to be, I don't want to do it. Because my answer was, I don't want to do it. At least the first MUA. The second MUA was brought on by myself. I actually asked the doctor if we could do a second one to get me further. So is there pain on the MUA? No, you don't feel anything. I mean, they're knocking you out, but you will feel it afterwards. You will. And it's usually in the quad because that's what happened to me twice. Now, there could be other pains. I'm not the guy that can tell you this is the only pain you're going to get. You might have other pains. I don't know. But yeah, you're going to have some pain afterwards, but it's worth that. I wouldn't have gone through a second MUA if I didn't believe in it, okay? Why would I submit myself to more pain knowing that thing was going to hurt? And if you watched video number 8, okay, the knee replacement video number 8, I number all my videos for knee replacement, so you can always reference things quickly. So if you watch number 8, which a lot of people have, you're going to see me say things like, this was the stupidest thing I ever did. I'm sorry I did it. I really... I would never do this again in my life. I mean, That's how I was feeling right after the MUA. Okay. If you ask me today, I'm going to tell you, do the MUA. Because really, if it wasn't for that and the pushing from the physical therapist where I'm screaming all the time, if it wasn't for those two things, I wouldn't have gotten where I'm getting right now. Okay. And I'm still not done. This thing doesn't seem to end. Okay. But I haven't given up. So if you need it, get it done. That's what I'm telling you. I think that's what the last MUA video said. You know, if you got to do it, do it. So I'm going to tell you again, if you got to do it, do it. Now, I know too, sometimes when I release a video, I lose a video subscriber here or there, maybe because they don't want to hear that. And I'm telling you to do it. But I'm telling you honestly what I think. That those are two things that really helped me. You don't want to go to physical therapy because they push you to the hurts, right? I'm telling you, go back to physical therapy until they push you till it hurts. You need it. That's really, to me, that's what actually helped me. Now, I have also heard other physical therapists who have said they've never touched a patient before. They just kind of walk them through things and they do it on their own. I don't know how they do that. I think you really need to be pushed a little bit because that's really what helped me. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it, but I'm saying I think a lot of us, that's what's needed to be done. So, yeah, nobody wants to submit themselves to more pain, but do it, okay? And then don't give up. And if you put in that time and that effort, it will pay off for you, because it did for me. I was one of the worst patients there. I asked my therapist, I says, am I the worst patient you've ever had? Because if you're not the worst, you're one of them. So, yeah, use me as an example. It can be done. So even if you're bad at it, you can still do it if you don't give up. Anyways, you like the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And I will talk to you guys next time.